Think like a monk. Train your mind for peace and purpose every day. Point 1. Live simply and mindfully like monks do. Living like a monk, as suggested by Shetty, isn't about wearing robes or giving up all your belongings. It's about embracing the mindset and habits that monks use to nurture inner peace, clarity, and purpose. Let's take a moment to think about a monk's life. Monks are famous for their disciplined lifestyle, which includes meditation, mindfulness, and a strong dedication to spiritual growth. They live in the here and now, free from the distractions and pressures of modern life. They foster a sense of detachment from material possessions and societal expectations, focusing instead on inner growth and tranquility. Now, picture applying these principles to our own lives. Imagine if we could learn to live in the present, free from the constant distractions of our smartphones and social media. If we could foster a sense of detachment from material possessions, focusing instead on our personal growth and happiness. If we could learn to meditate and practice mindfulness, finding inner peace amidst the chaos of our daily lives. This is what Shetty means when he suggests we should live like monks. It's not about giving up our lives and becoming monks ourselves. Instead, it's about embracing the habits and mindset that monks use to nurture inner peace and purpose. Take meditation, for example. Monks spend hours each day in meditation, training their minds to focus and find peace. We may not have hours to devote to meditation, but we can certainly find a few minutes each day to sit quietly, focus our minds, and find a sense of calm. Or think about the principle of detachment. Monks learn to detach from material possessions and societal pressures, finding happiness and fulfillment within themselves. We may not be able to completely detach from our possessions or societal pressures, but we can certainly learn to place less importance on them, focusing instead on our personal growth and happiness. In short, to live a fulfilling life, we must learn to live like monks. This doesn't mean we have to become monks ourselves. Instead, it means we should embrace the habits and mindset that monks use to nurture inner peace and purpose. By doing so, we can find a sense of calm and fulfillment in our own lives. Point 2. Don't let others' opinions define you. Imagine you're an actor, stepping onto the stage and slipping into different roles depending on the scene. Now think about your own life. Aren't we all doing the same thing? We put on a different mask for work, another for social media, one for our friends, and yet another for our family. These aren't necessarily false faces, but they're tailored to meet the expectations of the different audiences in our lives. Consider this. At work, you're the diligent professional employee. On social media, you're the adventurous, outgoing explorer. With friends, you're the funny, carefree spirit. And with family, you're the responsible, caring soul. These roles help us navigate different social situations, but they can also muddle our understanding of who we truly are. The trouble starts when we get lost in these roles. We might start to believe that we are these personas, forgetting our true selves in the process. This can lead to feelings of dissatisfaction, depression, and unworthiness because we're constantly trying to live up to an image that might not align with our true selves. Let's also talk about societal expectations and norms. From the moment we're born, we're flooded with messages about who we should be and what we should do. These messages come from our parents, teachers, friends, and the media. They shape our beliefs, values, and ultimately, our identities. For instance, society might tell us that success means having a high-paying job, a big house, and a perfect family. If we swallow these messages without questioning them, we might spend our lives chasing these goals, only to find that they don't bring us the fulfillment we expected. To live a fulfilling life, we need to define success for ourselves, rather than letting society define it for us. This might mean prioritizing personal growth, relationships, or making a difference in the world, rather than focusing solely on material success. In a nutshell, our identities are shaped by how we think others perceive us and societal expectations. However, to live a fulfilling life, we need to define our own success and stay true to ourselves, rather than trying to squeeze into the roles and expectations others have set for us. Point 3. Remember to appreciate your good qualities, not just your flaws. Imagine you're a painter who's just finished a masterpiece. As you step back to admire your work, your eyes catch a smudge in the corner. Instantly, you start berating yourself for being so careless. Sounds familiar, right? We've all been there, criticizing ourselves for our mistakes. But here's a different approach. Instead of focusing solely on the smudge, why not also appreciate the beautiful colors you've mixed, the perfect balance you've achieved, and the overall beauty of your painting? This is about recognizing your positive qualities. This idea comes from the teachings of monks. They were encouraged to reflect on themselves, which often led to self-criticism. But they were also taught to balance this with self-compassion and acknowledgement of their positive traits. This practice helped them maintain a balanced view of themselves, avoiding the pitfall of negative self-talk. And this isn't just for monks. It's for all of us. We often find ourselves being self-critical in our daily lives. Maybe we missed a deadline, said something awkward in a social situation, or didn't live up to our own expectations. But it's crucial to remember that we also have positive qualities. Maybe we're good listeners, creative thinkers, or kind-hearted people. By reminding ourselves of these positive traits, we can maintain a balanced self-view and foster self-compassion. In a nutshell, it's all about balance. It's okay, even healthy, to be self-critical. It helps us identify areas where we can improve. But it's equally important to remind ourselves of our positive qualities. This helps us maintain self-esteem and self-compassion. By practicing this balance, we can cultivate a healthier, more positive mindset. So the next time you find yourself being self-critical, remember to also appreciate your positive qualities. It's all about balance. Point 4. Don't let fear and anxiety hold you back from your potential. In Shetty's words, we all have an incredible amount of potential and power to shape our world. But our fears and worries often stand in the way of us realizing and using these abilities. Let's take a simple example. Many of us are scared of public speaking. This fear, if not tackled, can limit our ability to influence others, share our thoughts, or even move up in our careers. It's like a wall between us and our true talent to communicate effectively and convincingly. Shetty explains that our brains are designed to keep us safe from discomfort and possible harm. That's why we often run back to our comfort zones when we're scared or anxious. But this safety mechanism can also stop us from taking chances and discovering new possibilities, which can limit our growth and potential. Think about the fear of failure. It can be so intense that it stops us from trying new things or chasing our dreams. We might have the potential to be great in a certain area, but our fear of failure cuts us off from this potential, leaving it unused. Shetty stresses the need to face our fears and worries instead of running from them. By doing this, we can understand our fears better and learn how to handle them effectively. This involves questioning our fears, figuring out where they come from, and checking if they're really valid. For instance, if we're scared of failure, we should ask ourselves why. Is it because we're scared of criticism or rejection? Or is it because we're scared of letting others down? By figuring out the root of our fear, we can then work on dealing with it and reducing its effect on our lives. Shetty also points out the importance of looking at stress and fear in a new light. Instead of seeing them as bad experiences, we should see them as chances for growth and learning. By changing how we see things, we can change our relationship with fear and stress, allowing us to unlock our true potential. In a nutshell, Shetty's words suggest that our fears and worries can cut us off from our true abilities. But by facing our fears, figuring out where they come from, and changing how we see things, we can break down these barriers and tap into our true potential. This process needs self-reflection, bravery, and determination, but the rewards are definitely worth the effort. Point 5. Find happiness in purpose and meaning, not just success. We live in a world where success is often measured by the size of our bank accounts, the titles we hold, and the social status we've achieved. We're led to believe that these are the keys to happiness and contentment. But what if we got it all wrong? What if true contentment isn't about success at all, but about finding purpose and meaning in our lives? Let's take a step back and look at this from a different angle. There's a wise old Hindu philosopher named Bhaktivinoda Thakura who talked about 4 main things that drive us humans: fear, desire, duty, and love. Fear and desire are often tied to our chase for success. We might be scared of failing or being poor, so we work hard to get rich and successful. Or we might crave recognition and status, so we try to climb up the social ladder. But here's the thing. These motivations don't really satisfy us in the long run. Even if we get all the success we want, we might still feel like something's missing if our lives don't have purpose and meaning. That's where duty and love come in. Duty is about feeling responsible and committed to doing what's right. Love is about caring for others. These things give our lives meaning because they're about contributing to something bigger than ourselves. Imagine a rich and successful business person. They've got all the money and status they could ever want, but they might still feel empty if their work doesn't have any real purpose or meaning. Now think about a teacher who doesn't earn much, but gets a lot of satisfaction from helping young people learn and grow. They might not be rich or famous, but they could feel a lot more content because their work is meaningful and purposeful. The point here isn't that success is bad or that we shouldn't want it. It's just that success on its own isn't enough to make us truly content. We need to find purpose and meaning in our lives, whether that's through our work, our relationships, or the ways we contribute to society. That's what can give us a deeper and more lasting sense of fulfillment. So maybe it's time for us to rethink our priorities and what we consider success. Instead of focusing so much on success, let's try to find more purpose and meaning in our lives. That could be the key to leading a more fulfilling and contented life. Point 6. Discover your strengths and weaknesses to find your life's purpose. In the world of ancient Indian spirituality, there's a concept called dharma. It's a bit like your life's mission or purpose, the path that leads you to the best version of yourself and the most satisfying life you can live. Shetty, a former monk-turned-motivational speaker, talks a lot about dharma. He believes that to find your dharma, you need to understand your strengths and weaknesses. Your strengths are like a compass, pointing you towards where you can make the biggest difference. Your weaknesses, on the other hand, show you where you need to improve or get help. Let's say you're a natural at communicating and understanding others' feelings. Your dharma might be in counseling or social work, helping others navigate their emotions. But if you're not so great at staying organized or disciplined, you'll need to work on these areas or find someone who can help you to fully live your dharma. But finding your dharma isn't just about understanding your strengths and weaknesses. It's also about passion and purpose. Shetty says that if you're only doing something for the applause, you're not really passionate about it. And if you're chasing your interests without thinking about how they can help others or make the world a better place, your passion is missing a purpose. Imagine someone who wants to work in finance or law because they think it's a respected and well-paying job. But if they don't actually enjoy the day-to-day tasks, the work environment, or the energy these jobs require, then these careers might not be their dharma. Shetty also challenges two common beliefs: that we can't achieve anything big and that we can be anything we want. He offers a different perspective. We can't be anything we want because our potential isn't limitless. But we can be everything we are, meaning we can fully express and live out our unique potential. So how do we do this? Shetty suggests establishing routines, just like a monk would. Routines might seem boring or limiting, but they actually provide a structure that allows for creativity and deep engagement in our tasks. By doing the same tasks at the same time and place, we create a consistent energy that helps us stay focused and present instead of getting distracted or frustrated. In a nutshell, Shetty's take on dharma encourages us to understand our strengths and weaknesses, align our passion with purpose, challenge societal beliefs about our potential, and establish routines that support our focus and creativity. By doing so, we can discover and live our dharma, leading to a fulfilling and purposeful life. Point 7. Cut out distractions to better understand your inner thoughts. Imagine your mind as a chariot being pulled by 5 horses, a metaphor borrowed from ancient Hindu texts, the Upanishads. The chariot is your body, the horses are your senses, the reins are your mind, and the charioteer is your intellect. When the charioteer, your intellect, is asleep at the wheel, the horses, your senses, run wild. They pull the chariot, your body, wherever they please. This is like being led by your senses, reacting on impulse to things like food, money, power, or influence. It's easy to get lost, chasing after temporary pleasure and instant gratification, instead of focusing on what's truly important for your long-term well-being. But when the charioteer is awake and in control, he can guide the horses and steer the chariot along the right path. This is like being in control of your senses, not getting distracted by every shiny thing that comes your way. True freedom, as the book suggests, comes when we let go of our selfish desires and step out of the ego's tight grip. The ego is often all about I, me, and mine. It's a call to be humble, because thinking you know it all can be a big roadblock to learning and growing. The ego can be a tricky thing. It often pushes us to show off, to pretend we're smarter or better than we really are. It hides our true selves. But it's important to know the difference between ego and self-esteem. Ego is all about getting validation and approval from others, while self-esteem is about accepting yourself as you are. Ego thinks it knows everything, while self-esteem is open to learning from anyone. Ego wants to prove itself, while self-esteem just wants to express itself. Understanding this difference is a big step towards finding happiness and peace. So, the key to a peaceful and purposeful life is to control our external distractions, listen to our internal voices, and let go of our ego. It's not always easy, but it's definitely worth the effort. Point 8. Understand yourself first, then you can understand others. In Shetty's teachings, he emphasizes the importance of first understanding ourselves before we can truly understand others. This idea can be broken down into two simple steps: introspection and empathy. Introspection is like tidying up your own room before inviting friends over. It's about taking a deep dive into our own minds, understanding our thoughts, feelings, and what drives us. This involves a bit of self-reflection, some meditation, and a good dose of mindfulness. It's all about being aware of our own thoughts and emotions, and figuring out why we react the way we do. Let's say, for example, you notice that you tend to get angry when you're stressed. Once you're aware of this, you can take steps to manage your stress and keep your anger in check. This could mean practicing mindfulness meditation, taking regular breaks, or even seeking help from a professional. The second step, empathy, is all about understanding how we interact with others. This involves putting ourselves in other people's shoes, understanding their feelings and needs, and responding in a way that is respectful and considerate. For instance, if a coworker is going through a tough time, instead of reacting negatively to their mood or behavior, we can offer support and understanding. This could mean lending an ear to their concerns, offering help, or simply being there for them. In a nutshell, Shetty's teaching is that we need to understand ourselves before we can understand others. This is because our interactions with others are influenced by our own thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. By looking inward, we can gain a better understanding of ourselves, which in turn allows us to interact more effectively with others. This isn't just a theory, but it's backed by science. Research has shown that self-awareness and empathy are key components of emotional intelligence, which is crucial for effective interactions with others. Moreover, practices like mindfulness meditation have been shown to improve self-awareness and empathy, further supporting Shetty's teachings. In conclusion, Shetty encourages us to look inward before looking outward. By understanding ourselves, we can better understand others, leading to more effective and harmonious interactions. This is a powerful concept that can transform our relationships and interactions with others. Point 9. Helping others is key to personal growth and fulfillment. In Shetty's teachings, he often talks about the power of service. But what does he really mean by that? It's not just about volunteering at a soup kitchen or donating to charity, although those are great things to do. It's about a way of life, a mindset that puts others' needs before our own and seeks to make a positive impact on the world. Imagine you're at a picnic and you see a piece of trash on the ground. You didn't put it there, but you pick it up anyway. That's service. It's about leaving things better than you found them, whether that's a physical space or a person's emotional state. It's about making people feel happier, more hopeful, and more positive after they've interacted with you. But to truly serve others, Shetty says we need to understand the world as it really is. That means recognizing that our suffering and our delusions are temporary and illusory. When we understand this, we can help others see it too, and that's a powerful way to make a positive impact. Service is also tied to our ability to love and show compassion. Shetty quotes Nelson Mandela, who said that love comes more naturally to the human heart than hate. This suggests that service, which is an expression of love and compassion, is a fundamental part of what it means to be human. And guess what? Serving others isn't just good for them, it's good for us too. Research shows that when we focus on helping others, we're less likely to feel anxious or depressed. That's because giving activates the pleasure center in our brain, making us feel happier and more fulfilled. So, service isn't just about doing good deeds. It's about connecting with others, expanding our worldview, and cultivating gratitude and compassion. It's about making a positive difference in the world and in the lives of others. And most importantly, it's about tapping into our fundamental human capacity for love and compassion. Point 10. Conclusion. Achieving peace and purpose in life is a journey that begins with training your mind. It's about understanding your values, letting go of negativity, and embracing the present moment. You must learn to detach yourself from materialistic desires and focus on inner growth. Meditation and mindfulness are key tools in this journey. They help you to quiet the noise of the outside world and tune into your inner self. By practicing these regularly, you can gain clarity, reduce stress, and improve your overall well-being. It's also important to cultivate compassion and empathy, not just for others, but for yourself as well. This helps in building strong relationships and fostering a sense of community. Remember, the path to peace and purpose is not about achieving perfection, but about continual growth and learning. It's about finding joy in the journey and embracing the process. In the end, thinking like a monk is about living a life of purpose, peace, and fulfillment. It's about making a positive impact on the world around you and finding true happiness within yourself. So, start today. Train your mind, embrace the journey, and live a life of purpose and peace. Enjoyed this book? Let others in on the journey. Great ideas are worth spreading.